What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody is having a good Monday. I definitely am. Up until now, I was having a few challenges, but we're here, so nothing can hold us back, right? Tonight we have no stranger to the show. She has been on before, talking about a whole myriad of things. But tonight we're talking about her new single she has coming out, in addition to her up and coming women's conference that's also coming very soon. This is Minister Taneka Forbes. As I said, she's an artist, she's an evangelist, she's an entrepreneur, she's a teacher, a counselor, just a mentor. Um, she's just a big ball of creativity and positivity. But for those of you who may not be familiar with Miss Forbes, Evangelist Forbes, Minister Forbes, I'm going to give her a moment to kind of reintroduce herself and just give a little background of who she is and some of the things she has going on. So, with that being said, the floor is yours.
I am Taneka Forbes, as you stated, and I am a preacher. I am a teacher. I am a worship leader. I'm a songwriter. I guess now you want to check the box of recording artist and friend and coach and all the things. I also work full time, so I am also a supervisor on my job, a mother of two. And so that's Tanika Michelle Forbes. But more importantly, I'm a servant of the Lord.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. First of all, I want to thank you for coming back on the platform. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you sharing this moment with us. As I said earlier, you are not a stranger to the platform, and you weren't. I couldn't scare you off, so you came back. You were brave enough to come back, so I thank you for that.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to have this conversation on tonight. I'm glad to be with you, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So where the heck do we start? Um, Last time you were on, we talked more so about ministry and spiritual health and just the culture of religion and spirituality and some of the things that kind of go into it. But tonight, um, kind of more on a lighter note, like you said, we're discussing your musical side. Your new single, Completely Yes.
Completely, yes, yes,
Can you
yes.
can you tell me the story behind Completely Yes?
So I was just hosting, well, really wasn't hosting, I was a guest on a prayer call that one of the local ministries here they host. And I was praying as I was asked to do. And then the apostle said, do you have, word of the Lord to release? And as the Lord gave me something to release to the church, I did that. And that word was about, giving the Lord a complete yes. That's just what
Mhm.
came in my shared. It was, of course, impromptu. And when I hung up the line, the song just came to me. I had to take my son to school as I do every day during the school year. And as I was driving, the song was just coming to me. And so I just started singing the song in my voice notes in my phone. Never wrote it out, never even typed it up until it was time to copyright it. And so by the time I took my son to school and I went to work and sat in the parking lot for a minute because I get to work kind of early after I take my son to school. And during that commute in that short period of time, the entire song was birthed completely. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Um, Being an artist, understanding that inspiration can come at any time from any place, and you have to hurry up and you have to hurry up and get it down before you forget it.
Yes.
So I definitely am no stranger to the whole voice note thing. So I kind of chuckled when you said that. That's amazing. Um, How long how long was the process between you having the initial concept to what we hear now?
Not long at all. Actually, this was probably, I don't know, March, April when the
Okay.
song came. So I contacted Tone Wimberly immediately, who produced the song. Shout out to Tone.
Oh
And
no.
yo, and I already had the people in mind that this entire thing I cannot take any credit for. I was just a vessel. The Lord gave me the song just like that. It was just during that commute. He literally showed me who was to produce it, and when I contacted him, I told him that I literally saw his face. And then the people that I asked, they are on that initial message that I sent him. Of course, again, he was in parts, but that all of those pieces were in play in my mind and in my spirit and in my heart that same day, the
Wow.
same song, all in one day.
Wow. Okay. So completely, yes. I mean, I understand that it kind of came to you as kind of a revelation during a prayer call, but when you hear that now, like when you hear completely yes, that phrase, um, what do you think about? And better yet, what do you want me as the listener to think about when I hear that phrase?
When I hear it, I think about the fact that in my own life there were times that I was giving God a yes, but it was not a complete yes. It was a
Mm.
partial yes. It was a circumstantial yes. It just depended on it was a situational yes.
Okay.
It was a convenient yes, but not really a complete yes. It just depended on what I wanted. And if what God wanted was in conflict with what I wanted, then it was a partial yes. Okay, I'll usher or I'll sing or I'll dance. And there are a lot of people who've been the same place that I was. I'll do these things, but I don't want to preach. That's out of the question, God. Get somebody else to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, wanted to be an attorney and God called you to be a pastor. Get somebody else to do it. I never wanted to be that. Or maybe God, even the person that he's ordained for your life, they do not fit, the idea that you had in your mind. No, he has to be 6'2", he has to be 200 pounds, he has to be blah, blah, blah. And then you got somebody that's 5'2", 300 pounds. I mean, I don't know.
Hmm.
Sometimes what God planned for you is totally opposite what you had in mind for yourself. And so we give God a yes on this and that and the other. I can agree with this. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But this right here, or if it's, I need you to walk away. I need you to walk away
Right.
from that. I need you to stop this. I need you to start that. Don't want to do that. I don't want to start a ministry, but I will start this nonprofit organization, God. Okay. I don't want
Right.
to do so we try to reason with God, and we tell God the parts and pieces that we will do, and that's been my life as well. But the song kind of forces you, if you really sit and listen and meditate on the lyrics, to consider what you have been giving God, and a lot of times we've been giving him a partial yes, like I said, a circumstantial, situational yes, but not a complete yes. Okay, I'm yielding my will completely and totally and entirely to yours.
Wow. So do you feel like so basically do you feel like this song was ministry to you? Like once you completed it and you listened to it, was it ministry, to you? Like did it convict you? Did it what was your first feeling for it? Like did you feel a level of conviction or did you, how did it minister to you?
I felt convicted of my past because I've been through a lot, and so I had
Hmm.
already point of it's whatever. I had already, before writing the song, I had gotten, and so the verse in the beginning, it says, "Before I was in my mother's womb, you knew me. You ordained me to be what you wanted me to be. But I went another way, and your love found me. Now I want to be all that you called me to be." That's my testimony. That's my life. my life, and so I can sing it with conviction because I've lived it and come through that. And now I'm at this place of a complete yes. And so now I think I'm not singing it from a place of conviction. I'm convicted when I think of the fact that God has been so gracious and so kind to me. He could have cut me off a long time ago because he told me to preach long before I started preaching. He told me to do things long before I decided that I was going to do it. He told me to stop doing things that I continued to do. And so from a place of gratitude for the grace that he has extended to me, for the grace that is on my life, for the mercy
Mhm.
that really has endured in my life. There's conviction there. But as to right now in this moment, my life is a yes, Lord life. I think I said it on the broadcast the last time, and it is true for me. My life is a yes, Lord life. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It doesn't mean that I get it right all the time. But in my heart, in my soul, in my mind, in my spirit, it really is yes, Lord. It's not, I've just been through so much that I'm at a place like, it's whatever. Okay. I'll give it up. I've given up so much in the first place. I've walked away from some things that most people wouldn't have ever walked away from, not knowing what the future would even hold, just trusting God. And so if I can walk away from that, if I can do this, if I can turn away from that, if I can flip this, if I can, then I can, it's whatever.
Wow, wow. That's amazing. You are, as you said earlier, are a preacher and a
Yeah.
teacher,
Hmm.
and so you're a minister. So now that you're in this artist mode, um, does it take much adjustment to kind of go from that into artist mode, like, or do they intertwine? Does preacher Tanika inter overlap with artist Tanisha, or are they separate entities? How are they able to coexist?
Because it's always been down in me. Um, I've recorded before, just not in my name, if that makes sense. So I've been
Hmm.
on albums as a lead, and I've certainly done background vocals for many recordings. And so,
Hmm.
except my face wasn't on the album. So I'm not new to it. I'm true to it. But this is the time that I'm stepping out and my name and my face is on the front of it. And so people have heard me before, and they've certainly heard my work as far as songwriting, because I've written for Troy Sneed's albums, a couple of his albums. I've written for Youth for Christ, The Struggle is Over album. That's a Stellar Award winning album, and his Thank Him in Advance album. So I'm not new to songwriting. I'm not new to singing. I'm not new to any of that. I'm also a worship leader, so I do this all the time. It's just that this time, got me on Front Street. That's
Wow. Now, the last time we were on, I believe we talked about um, the whole presentation of ministry, and how sometimes people can infer or perceive you in a certain way based off your appearance and how you come across, and again, kind of expounding on the question I just asked you about ministry slash preaching versus, not versus, but in addition to the artist thing. So, like,
Mhm.
are you is there have you experienced any criticism or backlash, being that you are being that you are preaching but also an artist? Because I see sometimes, like, the Pastor Sapp and Pastor Dietrich had, sometimes they receive criticism for doing both.
Right.
Do you is that something that you've experienced, or is that something in the back of your mind, or are you just moving?
I'm just I'm just moving, and I'm trusting God as I move. I have not received any criticism as it relates to being an artist per se. I don't like the label, but that is what it is. Um, and a preacher. I haven't received criticism. It hasn't conflicted at all because I think I just walk the same way in each office, in each position, in each area that I serve. And I think for me, there's not a difference. You don't get a different Taneka in this light than you get in that light. I'm just
Mhm.
Taneka all day. And so I think that also helps. They are I don't know them personally. But for me, you get the same Tanika, whether you're getting the mom Tanika or the artist Tanika or the worship leader
Mhm.
Tanika or the Tanika or the songwriter Tanika or the supervisor Tanika, you're gonna get the same person. And so I might, although I might be flowing and moving in a different office, I'm still the same person. And so for me, it just doesn't change.
Awesome. So what has the reception been like since you've released the single?
It's been crazy. Like it's been it just released on Friday. Today's
Okay.
Monday, so a couple of days, and it has been crazy. It has made me feel like people were waiting on it.
Mm,
It has made me feel like the earth needed it.
wow.
I was being obedient. The Lord told me to release it, right? It wasn't something that I had in my mind. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a goal. It wasn't on my list of things to do for this year. The Lord literally gave it to me and told me to release. He said that this is a kingdom sound and it is supposed to be a kingdom collaboration. So I asked Anita Wimberly and Amber Hall to join me on this, which was, two people that the Lord showed me. And he said that this is a kingdom sound and it's a kingdom collaboration. So I collaborated with some more kingdom minded people and we did it. And the reception has been such that it's supposed to have like been conversation after conversation. The Lord has opening doors, the way that it has been received, the way that people have grabbed and gravitated to the song. It's just
Hmm.
been tremendous. I don't want to say I'm overwhelmed because I'm living in what I saw to a certain extent at this point, but it is just, it's mind blowing.
That's amazing. So who have you been most surprised to find out uh heard your music and actually, liked it? Was there anybody that you heard from that you were shocked to hear from?
Not really. Not really. I did not really have expectation. I didn't even announce it. I didn't do a whole it's coming out this date, look for
Hmm.
it kind of. I just popped out. Well, here it is. There was no pre anything. There was no pre sales. There was no pre marketing. There was nothing. It's here. And as soon as it came out, people just grabbed it. And I mean, when I say people grabbed it, they grabbed it. Not just consumers, but radio and just other people just grabbed it because the song speaks to them. And so that's why I just have to give credit, glory, and honor to God because when He does a thing, He does it well.
Absolutely. I know that when I heard the song, I played it about 3 or 4 times in a row, and it just truly, like a former pastor of mine said, when something is anointed, because it doesn't have to be up on you for you to feel it. So in other words, you can watch it on TV and still feel the same, or you can hear it in your headphones and still feel the same. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Somebody
Yes.
can somebody could sing it, you know what I'm saying? And you still feel the same, and you still feel the same anointing no matter where it is. And that's how you can tell that it's truly anointing, because it comes through the screen. It
Yeah.
comes through the ears. And so that's what Completely Yes did for me. Um you almost took me out at work, man. You almost took me out, you know.
Oh,
Uh but and this may sound like a silly question, but you made a great point earlier when you said that, you know, a lot of times we try to make deals with God. We try to say, okay, I'm gonna do this as long as you don't have me doing this.
right.
I'll go here, or I'm in this certain situation. If you get me out of this situation, I'll do this.
Get me out, God.
Right. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get out of that situation, you're on your way to another situation. You know what I mean? You made a great point, but I'm gonna ask you, kind of a silly question, but it's not. Why is it important to be completely submitted to what God is saying to you? Why is it important to say completely yes?
Well, I mean, the safest place to be is in the will of God. And we've
Right?
heard that times over, but it's just true. And so when you give God a complete yes, it kind of kills your will. And sometimes we get it all mixed up when we say, if we delight ourselves in the Lord, He'll give us the desires of our heart. Yes. But it is our responsibility to make sure that our desires line up with His desires for our lives. It is our responsibility to make sure that our desires line up with His will. And so to be in His complete and perfect will should be our desire. It should be our goal. It should be our aim. We have His perfect will, and then we have His permissive will. And a lot of times we go with the permissive because, it's what God will allow. And then we lean on grace to kind of, okay, excuse us for that one, and forgive us for that one. And we all sin and fall short of the glory. And we all blah 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 blah. And so wanting to be in His perfect will because He's so good to us, because He is God, because He is deserving of us, that when we yield ourselves to Him, Paul said, I crucify myself every day. I kill my own will. I kill my own desires. I kill my own agenda, and I take His. And so that's what a yes is about. It's like, I'm not going to give you, who wants a part of you when you're in a relationship? Just say even a romantic relationship. Do you want a part of the person?
Oh,
No.
one at
Person
all.
knows all of you. I want you to love me completely, entirely, wholly. I want you to love me that way. And so it's the same thing with God. He says, hey, if you love me, keep my commandments. In other words, let me give it to you in Tanika Michelle's version. Do what I say.
Right.
If you love, do what I say. So it's the same thing. It's like we want to give God a part of us. We want to give God the parts and the pieces that we're okay with Him having. But it's like, no,
Hmm.
I'll give you all of me. And that is a complete yes.
Wow. So is this completely yes? Is this just the sing? No, I shouldn't say just the, but is this a part of a larger project, or is this its own project in and of itself?
But Mike, I don't know. Um, this was not on my agenda of things to do. This was not in the plan. This was not in the 1 year goals, short term goals, long term. It was not there. I was very happy writing for other people, very happy being featured on other projects, very happy even doing background vocals for live recordings and artists. I just did background when Jacqueline Carr and Yolanda Adams came here. Loved it. You do your thing. I'm in the background, backing you up, hold my soprano part down, go home. I loved it. You know what I mean? And so this was not something that I really planned to do, desired to do, or anything. It is what God willed for this season in my life. And so if He gives me another song, He's given me many songs, but this one He said record and release. So we'll see what God says. If He gives me another one that says release it, guess what? It's completely yes.
Okay, nice. That was nice. I like how you did that there. Um, let's kind of shift gears. Um, you have a women's conference coming up in the next week or so.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the Kingdom Ladies Retreat, it's been in existence for 8 years actually, but this is our seventh because we couldn't do it 2020 due to COVID. But I'm telling you, every single year we've moved. We've had it in Daytona, Orlando, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, and we've been in Atlanta before. This is our second time in Atlanta. Every year it's amazing. Every year people come, every year. It's great fellowship, it is fitness, it is fun, it is empowerment. It is a revival style services all wrapped up in one weekend. Our theme is relax, relate, and release. And we do all of the above. We try to minister to the whole person, heart, mind, body, and soul, which is why we have the fitness component and other things. We've dealt with mental health and so many other things. Man cave. Now we invite men because let me tell you why we opened it up to men. It's still called the Kingdom Ladies Retreat,
Okay.
but men, men were there anyway. They started coming. They were like, "Hey, you're not gonna leave us out."
Ah, okay.
Started saying, "Hey, not only can you come, we want you to come because
Okay.
we enjoy being there for one, and it's just nothing like me and being in the room." And so it's like, okay, come on. And then we started making sure because we had men there, we started trying to have something for them. So the men are invited. Welcome, wanted to. We want you there. We made sure that the registration was very low for me and only $25. But I have an announcement I'm getting ready to make in a minute. But the men started coming, so we added man cave, and so they can men can come to every single session with the exception of girl talk. That is a girl, girls only, ladies only session. And I know the men want to peep in there and see can they find a kingdom queen and man cave
Okay.
king, but no, the girl talk is just for the ladies. Man cave is just for the men, and then we can come together corporately for all of the other sessions. On Friday night, we have an all-white party, Kingdom Edition. That is going to be fun. On Saturday morning, we have what's called prayer school with Elder Anita Wimberly. She's going to teach us how to pray so that we can
Mhm.
have the actual fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. And a lot of times our prayers might be consistent, but they're not. It's almost like we're not getting results. And so she's going to teach us how to pray. A lot of times we look at the model prayer and we just pray, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. But that's just a model. We don't necessarily have to pray that, but that's a whole nother thing to start
Mhm.
with. Thank acknowledging who God is and before you move to your request. And so she's going to teach us how to pray, and then we're going to pray corporate prayer. We have fitness that day. We have man cave. We have girl talk. We also have a luncheon. I'm inviting people to come and celebrate the release of this single with me. They do not have to pay for it. It's on me. So come on to the luncheon as well. Then that night we have what's called a one night with the king. That's that Saturday night. And we have Elijah Ketchup. He's amazing, amazing, amazing. We have Ashton Jackson. Ashton Jackson. I always mess that up. He is coming with the heat. He is one of the worship leaders at New Birth, right there in Atlanta. And
Mhm.
Elijah's well. We have Amber Hall, Anita Wimberly, and Tavia Williams. It's going to be amazing. People come, and I tell you, in that particular session or service, we run, we jump, we holler, we scream, we fall out, and we get back up, and we fall out again. It's one of those kind of services. And then on Sunday morning, we have morning glory, and it is the preach word, it is worship, it is praise, it is prophetic utterance as the Spirit leads us to share healing, deliverance, breakthrough. It's just an amazing weekend. God blessed us with additional space. We opened it up for anybody that wants to come. You don't even have to register. So meet us in Atlanta, Hyatt Regency, Peachtree Street. Next weekend, August the 2nd through the 4th. Where else can you go get all of that for $0?
I know that's right. That's awesome. That's an awesome thing. Let me tell you this though, and let me say this to you. Um, Sometimes I was at an event, a men's conference thing, and I look around and there's a lot of I noticed that not just in that moment, but in that moment I realized that um there's a lot of separation when it comes to these conferences, right? You you like pastors come, ministers come, and then they're all kind of like herded into one area, and then you got everybody else on this side,
Man,
and there's not much interaction, but the people are still dealing with stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like it's almost like the doctors are being separated from the patient, so to speak.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
um, can you speak to that in reference to um, the retreat? Um, is there a lot of interaction? Like, do you purpose interaction between everybody? Everybody is together and enter. You know what I'm saying? You got the all white party and all these things where people can kind of intermingle. But I mean, can you kind of speak to that a little bit more?
There is so much intermingling in with the retreat, and I tell you, that's what's so different about this than some other conferences and events that I've even gone to as a registrant, where I never talked to or touched the host.
Hmm.
I in the room. You can talk to me, you can hug me. I sit down and talk to people. I take pictures with people. Not only me, but the other guests are very personable and very humble. And so it is one of those meetings, if you will, or conferences or retreats or gatherings, if you will, that where there's no big I's and little U's. There are people that are degreed, people that are not degreed, people that are licensed to preach, people that are not, they don't have a collar. It doesn't matter. No big I's, little U's. Everybody is, and everybody loves on everybody at this retreat. And so that's what I love about it too, that we are personal with people. We are not, coming in right in time for the service and running back out as soon as we, finish our portion of the ministry and running back out so people can't hug us and touch us. No, I want to love on the people that come. I want to talk to the people that come. I want to take pictures with the people that come. I want to know that their needs were met in this retreat.
That's very good to hear. Like I said, it was something that I just really kind of noticed recently. Like, a lot of these conferences are put together, and like I said, the people, the titles and whatever are put with the titles, and the
Right.
people that are coming to experience, they're kind of put over here. And
Right.
then you have church and you have a good time and people dance and stuff like that, but they go home still with some of the same stuff not touched on. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so that's why it was so, it's so refreshing to hear that you're doing things that allow people not only to just have church, but they're also letting their hair down and being able to be in a relaxed setting where they can actually be comfortable to talk to each other. Whereas sometimes people are put in a position and you're almost scared to even look in their direction. You know what I mean? So that's
Right.
very refreshing to hear.
Right.
um, I know that you haven't even had this one yet, but what do you see in the future for the ladies retreat going forward?
Honestly, the Lord has been dealing with me about this kind actually coming to an end. I have not announced that very much, but the Lord is dealing with me about going higher. And with regard to that, I will go ahead and tell this. I have been fasting and praying as I do sometimes when I am led to. And the Lord had been dealing with me about bigger. And then I had this whole revelation. I said it on my live the other day. Went to Chipotle. Nobody was in the parking lot. And I was looking around like, are they closed? I was on the phone with a friend. And I said, wait a minute. This is crazy because I went at noon on a weekday, lunchtime, and nobody was in the parking lot. So it made me feel like they were closed down. And then when I looked in, nobody was in the line, which was also strange. I was very, very weird because I'm expecting to wait. It's 12 o'clock. It's that's peak time. That's prime time. And so nobody's there. And then the lady knew what I was going to order. She pulled the bowl out right there at Chipotle, ready to serve me my rice, my beans, or whatever I was going to ask for in the bowl. And I said, did you know that I was getting ready to get a bowl? And she said, yes. And the Lord just dropped this in my spirit right then and there. He spoke to me and said, I'm moving things out of the way. That's why nobody was in the parking lot. That's why nobody was in the line. I'm moving things out of your way. I'm making your path clear. There's not going to be anything in the way. And before you can even ask, I'm going to do it. Before you can even, when you think it, before you can speak it out of your mouth, I'm going to do it. And he showed me how he's going to do that. And I tell you, I went on a fast on last week, and God has been doing it. I was asking God to do some things in the ministry. I was asking God to do some things in my personal life. He's showing up and showing out in both areas. And so I believe that it's time for us to just go higher. That's what I believe. I believe that how we've been doing it, we're not going to be able to continue to do it. That it's time for us to do it differently. So we're going to be praying and fasting and seeking God for direction. You might see us in the Georgia Dome eventually.
The Georgia Dome. That's what's up. That's what's up. That is amazing. Um, so you're thinking about wrapping it up. Wow.
Not
That's
wrapping. Let me make
well,
sure that we're clear. Not wrapping up ministry. Not wrapping up hosting things, or anything like that. Just a retreat of this kind,
mm,
because I believe it's taking us to another place, another level. He's taking us higher, and so oftentimes we don't want to let go of a thing, but you can't grab hold to another thing until you let go of that thing. And
right.
sometimes you want to go to a new place, but you can't go to a new place unless you move from that place. And so I'm just like, again, completely yes.
Wow. Wow. That's great. Is your perception or your idea or your opinion of a Christian recording artist different now that you are one yourself, in the sense of being in front of the mic as opposed to being in the background? Has your perception of being a Christian artist changed any now that you are one?
Not at all. Not at all. I think it boils down to, the person, not the position, not the title, not the assignment, the character of the person, the integrity of the person, the conviction of the person, the lifestyle of the person. And so, whether you are a recording artist, a preacher, a secretary, a principal, a doctor, an attorney, a pastor, a prophet, a missionary, whoever you are, a radio host, whoever you are, whatever you do, it boils down to who you are and how you conduct yourself. And so, no different idea, or I don't feel any differently. I feel like there's some good people in every arena and in place, and there's some bad people in every arena. And
Where's the circle? Oh, hold on. Hold on. I just think it's so interesting that ministers who sing are just they're just interesting to me. Um, do you have any, like, I don't want to say performances, but ministry dates lined up, as you know, as a result of Completely Yes?
well, I just
Yeah,
released it
charge
on
that bill to the left.
Friday, so
Hurry up, because I
it,
only got 4%.
but I do have like lots and lots and lots of dates already on the calendar in town and out of town. I
Mm-hmm.
have released completely yes, dates to preach, dates to go and do praise and worship, dates to preside. That's what I do. I would do it with or without a single. And so, has something changed? No, not really. I was already as busy as I want to be.
No. Okay.
I'm not gonna, only because in this season of my life, I am also seeking balance. And so I don't take every invitation. You have to be careful about that. Trying to make sure that I take care of me, find time for lady as well. So
Okay. So, besides the ministry, besides the music, what else is Minister Tanika, Mother Tanika, Sister Tanika? What is she doing? What is she doing outside of the the the, the church work?
out of the church work. Okay, so outside of the church work, of course, you just said I'm a mother. I also work full time. A lot of people think I'm in ministry full time. I am not. I work a full time 40-hour week, secular job. So of course that occupies, quite a bit of your day, Monday through Friday. And so, by the time you do ministry, work full time, and you are a parent, um, hobbies and interests, I love to do a whole lot of stuff. Mike, I still like to ride roller coasters.
Wow.
So when I get an opportunity to go to a theme park, I'm in, count me in. Um, I still like to skate. When I have an opportunity
Wow.
to in, I'm not great at it, but I like to bowl. So when I have an opportunity to bowl, count me in. Just a host of things. I like to paint. So when I have an opportunity to paint, count me in. And so just a host of things that make up Taneka Forbes. And I'm doing as much as I have time to do when I can do it. Also like to cook. And so I do that when I have time.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I had some technical difficulties. Okay, we are back. Wow. Uh I apologize, you guys. That was totally my fault. Um Had a few technical difficulties, but we worked through it. I'm not sure where we were actually leaving off at,
What do I
but
do?
what do you do outside of the church work? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
So
I missed that. I missed that part. Can you tell me that again?
it's so I was saying that I still like to ride roller coasters every time I get a chance to go to a theme park. I've even rode a horse before. I would love to go and do that again. Kind of adventurous. I like to skate when I can. I haven't been in a while, but when I do, I have a great time. I just went
Mhm.
bowling on Saturday night. I'm not that good at it, but I like to do it.
Yeah.
I
Are people surprised to see you out
to see me out, just out
when
in
they see
general.
you out? Like if if somebody sees you at the bowling alley, are they surprised to see you at the bowling alley or riding a horse or?
They don't appear to be surprised
Mhm.
because, well, I guess, people that don't know me well might be. They don't appear to be surprised. My personality is kind of outgoing. I'm definitely an extrovert. So I think I mean, kind of true to my personality. So if some music is playing, you'll see me as soon as the beat drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I like to have a good time. I love comedy. I love movies. I love plays. I love, all the things.
I think that nowadays more than in the past, it's important to be as down to earth as possible. I think that, back in the days when our parents were coming up and our grandparents were coming up, pastors and ministers and anybody who taught or preached the gospel, um, kind of lived in a bubble, so to speak. You
Yeah.
never really knew about them. You never really knew much about them. You never knew what their interests were. You never really knew, maybe what they were dealing with or struggling with outside of, church and stuff like that. Nowadays, you have more of a transparency that I haven't seen, um, you know, growing up in church.
Right.
Um, is that something that you set out to do, or is just you just being?
For me, I'm just being. I think initially I was doing some things on purpose. I've been in this for a while now, preaching. So I'm not new to it. I was ordained in 2013, but I was doing ministry long before that. But ordained as a licensed minister in 2013. I think I struggled with the calling. I struggled with the calling because I felt to be myself. Felt like I wasn't going to have any fun. I felt like I probably couldn't smile. I probably couldn't dance. I probably couldn't go anywhere. I probably couldn't do
Right,
anything. I might have to wear the dresses down to my toes. I might not be able to look like I prefer to look.
right.
All the things. And so I was very hesitant with accepting my calling because I thought it was going to change me entirely, not like inside, but change me entirely as, a person as a human being. And so, but not so. People have embraced who I am for the most part. I really have not gotten any pushback or kickback or rejection in terms of who I am. I think they appreciate the fact that I am a real person, that will laugh with you if the joke is funny, that will talk to you in regular English, not just in tongues.
Right, right, right,
That activity with you and it not be weird. That will be at a park and not be out there necessarily witnessing. That might
hmm,
actually enjoying the fireworks or just actually get on the swing or
right,
climb up. thing with the little kids. They might be looking at me strange, but I'm having a good time.
Right. Right. I mean, I think that sometimes we take for granted the fact that we go to church and we learn and we train and we read and we pray in order to um exude or be an example of who God is without even having to say God or Bible or church or scripture. Sometimes I feel that people are drawn to you if you just a genuine soul. You know what I mean? A genuine spirit. I think the word says something to the effect of, it's the love that draws you. You know,
Loving.
with
That's
love,
a.
yeah. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's the love that draws the people, especially nowadays where, you don't necessarily have people running to church. And we hear that cliche all the time, you are the Bible, only Bible that some people may ever read. You know what I mean? And I think that we kind of forsake I think that sometimes we might hide behind the word
Right.
uh and let so that we don't have to be that Bible that people read, because
Right.
maybe, I don't know, maybe because we don't feel like we're living up to who we're supposed to be or
Hmm.
whatever. I don't know. But I think I was talking to some ministers the other day and I was saying how it feels like there's kind of a transition between the traditional ministry and this ministry. Like I said, you don't there's more of a transparency, there's more of a earthiness, there's more of a grassroots type of ministry surfacing that says that you can, like you said, go bowling, you can go skating, you can go watch the game, you can, go eat chicken
Oh,
wings at whatever, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But but these same ones that are kind of leading that charge, like I say, like a John Gray or a Mike Todd, or guys who kind of use conventional everyday stuff to convey messages. They're kind of like uh embattled right now because, like I said, it's a transition and the people that don't agree with it are, kind of pushing back. But I think that we kind of forget that we draw people by our genuineness and our realness, and we kind of, if we live by that, then it's a whole lot easier. I feel.
I mean, we are held to a higher standard. To whom much is given, much is also required. So we are
Right.
held to a higher standard, and most of us are aware of that. I think
Mhm.
that we do mindful. But so as a woman preacher, you're not going to go and do you're probably not going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, in your bathing suit. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Uh, that doesn't mean you can't go to the beach, and I'm not going to wear, a choir robe at the beach, but
Right.
I go live, in my bathing suit. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so being mindful, you can still be in touch with your humanity, and that doesn't mean that you get to live any kind of way. I
Right.
want to be, because some people feel like, well, I'm just in touch with my humanity. That just means that that gives me a pass to live any kind of way. No, you are still you are still held to a certain standard. You are still supposed to be salt and light in this earth. You are still supposed to let your light so shine upon men that they may see your good works and glorify the Father which in heaven. All of that is still supposed to be at work in you, and it's still true. However, it's okay for people to see that humanity as well. Jesus came in human form.
Mhm.
He came in human.
Absolutely.
And so for me, it's not about you necessarily being human. So we can push that to the side. It's really what you do.
Hmm.
I think we'll have a problem with is not our humanity, is that our humanity is too carnal.
Mm.
Our humanity sometimes can be wicked.
Right.
Our humanity sometimes can be evil. And so, we have a lot of preachers that'll say, well, you just can't even be human. They just expect me to be perfect. Well, no, they don't expect you necessarily to be perfect. Not everyone, I should say, but they don't expect you to go live cussing everybody out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Uh, you do have a limit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think that it's one extreme or the other. And I think that the preachers that are seeing more success, that aren't in the limelight for the foolishness, are the ones that have found that balance.
Hmm.
Wow, I can be human. I can have hobbies and interests, and enjoy the earth that is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. However, I still have to keep in mind that I am His, not my own.
Right. Wow. Amazing. You always seem to give me anyway. Um, so what's next? Um, you have all these things in the works, but what's next?
So after the retreat is over, I am going to continue preaching. I have dates already on the calendar for, again, in town and out of town. I am going to continue to be the worship leader at Destiny Church and
Hmm.
serve faithfully. I am going to continue to be a friend and a daughter and a sister and a mother, and a good person. But I am so also going to be focusing on me. There's some things that I have put to the side and sacrificed for some time. I have sacrificed for the cause of Christ, and I will continue to do so. I have sacrificed for to raise my children, who are now 21 and 15, getting ready to be 16 and 22. And so I have decided that for when I finish this assignment, which is another massive assignment, I've gotten the single out. The retreat is coming up next week. I am also going to be focusing on me.
Awesome. That's a bar. That is a bar. Um, I just have one last question for you. Um, well, actually, two. This is the first of the two, and I believe I asked you this the first time you were on. Listening to you, you are a boss. Uh, you are the spearhead of a lot of things. So leadership is in your wheelhouse. It's in your circle. It's in you. You are a leader, right?
It is my life. Yes.
Right. So is it difficult in your personal relationships to be able to navigate leadership versus friendship or even deeper um romantic relationships? Do you find it difficult to kind of curb that or adjust that when it comes to personal relationships?
No, not at all. I've not. It's not been challenging for me. The only thing that's challenging for me, to be honest, and I'm getting ready to be very honest.
Okay.
Um, don't submit. It's difficult for me to submit to every kind of leadership. Let me say
Hmm.
it like there's the leadership that I'm submitting to because I'm supposed to. I know that it pleases God, but then it's very easy for me to submit to leadership that I respect.
Hmm.
So no, I am a leader in almost every aspect of in every aspect of my life. Come to think of it, but I don't think I walk around every day thinking I'm a leader in every aspect of my life. I just do it.
Yeah.
It is part of me. It is natural for me. I've been a leader my entire life. I remember being in fifth grade and I was the student council president. And so I've been a leader my entire life. That is just what God has called me to be. That is
Hmm.
just the grace is on my life. That is just the anointing that I walk in. That is just my calling. That is just my lot. But I also know how to back down and I know how to bow out when it's time. And so No, I enjoy being submitted. I'm submitted under my pastor. When I am at Destiny Church, I am not in charge. Clarence Jackson is the pastor of Destiny Church, and I never forget that.
Shout out to
Um,
Pastor Jackson.
yeah, shout out to my pastor. And I never forget. Try to be the pastor. I don't want to be the pastor. He is the pastor, and I submit to his leadership. I submit to his instruction. I submit to his guidance. When he is saying we're going to do one song here and we're going to move the other two there, I don't ever give any pushback. It is okay. Or if he says I want you to do two songs here and one song there, fine. I even asked him, you want us to? We can omit a song if we have more on the program. It's whatever he said. I have no problem submitting to that. I'm happy to submit to his authority. And so when the leadership is respectful and respectable, it is easier for me to submit. Now, it's very difficult for me to submit, if I'm being honest, because I am a leader and I like things to be right. It is very difficult for me to submit to somebody who is just, they're crazy.
Mm,
They are not a good leader. It's very difficult. I'm going to do it if you're my boss. I am a supervisor, but I have a supervisor, and I
right.
submit to the supervisor. I never given anybody that supervised me a problem, so I know when to submit and how to submit,
Mm,
yeah, and who I submit to.
wow, that's amazing. Okay. This is my last question, and I asked you this the last time too, but we'll see how your answer has evolved since then. So the question is, what would have to happen in your life is if it hasn't happened already for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you specifically?
It hasn't changed, Mike. For me, success is when the people that know me the best, know me the most, can look at me or can speak about me or can consider me to be a good person.
Mm,
When they
okay.
can say when they can say that she's genuine, when they can say no, she loves God for real, when they say she loves people for real, when they say the same person that you get in the pulpit, the same person that you get on the job, that's the same person that we get at home. She's not presenting herself to be somebody that she is not. We can bear witness to the fact that what you see is really what you get, and she is genuine in all that she does. And so, if I am living a life that is hypocritical, then I have failed. If I am living a life that my children cannot respect and cannot honor, then I have failed. But for me, success is I've won them to Christ. Success is I'm winning at home. Success is my friends can say she's a good friend. My success is um, my church can say, oh no, she's faithful here, not just on the stuff that her name is on. She serves somebody else's vision well. So just being a good person, then I've succeeded.
That's amazing. Awesome. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you about the conference, or maybe having you come speak at their event, or host an event, or just pick your brain about something, how can they get in touch with you?
You can reach me on social media. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. I'm everywhere, and so you can reach me via social media. I don't typically give my phone number out to everybody
Hmm.
for options, and so just I prefer you to reach me on social media, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Miss Forbes, Evangelist Forbes, I'm not even sure
Just call
what.
me
Miss Tanika, I thank you again for coming on and sharing with us. Completely Yes is a total vibe.
Thank you.
Um, I love it. I've heard it several times um, you've sent it since you sent word that you had it out. I checked it out and I've played it several times, and it's not just a song that I listen to, but it's definitely as I said earlier, something that truly ministers. It's not just a nice beat and a nice melody. It's actually ministering, and I feel it every time I hear it. And I am looking forward to hearing it on my kids. They love Kirk Franklin Praise on Sirius XM. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward to hearing it on that station very, very soon. I'm calling it. I'm
Come on,
calling it right now.
man of God. I receive it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I wish you much blessings on all this, everything that you have going on, the ladies retreat, the man cave, that whole thing. And I pray that it does everything that it's set out to do. Um, because it can't, I know that it's not an easy thing to put together. It's a lot of moving parts and a lot of, you know, phone calls and Zoom meetings and traveling here and there. And I know that can't be an easy thing. So my hat goes off to you for that as well. So I wish you much blessings in that as well.
Thank you.
Also, I just want to again offer you an open invitation anytime that there's something that you would like to promote, anything that you would like to talk about. We do panels on the show. I would love to have you on, just to hear your thoughts on different subjects. But overall, I just want to say that this is an open forum for you to come to whenever. You just say the word and we will make it happen.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. The last time, this time, I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem. I will not hold you any longer because I know you have a zillion things that you could be doing right now, including probably getting some sleep as well. But but thank you again, and again, I wish you much blessings on everything that you have going forward.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, you have a. Is there any last words you want to leave before the people before we sign off?
Just listen, pray for me. Follow me. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on all of the social media platforms that I am on. Follow me and pray for me. God is doing something in my life that I haven't seen, ear haven't heard, neither has it entered into the heart of men, the things that he has in store for me, but the same is for you. The things that God has in store for you. Your latter is going to be greater than your past, and God has a perfect plan in store for you. He's going to reveal it sometimes in part, but if you trust him and if you follow him, you will have good success. And I pray that you walk in favor, that you walk in peace, that you walk in love, that you experience joy like never before and get to your final destination. And when you get there, you'll see everything that God has promised.
I receive that absolutely. Thank you so much, Miss Tanika. Again, you have a great night, and again, I wish you much blessings in all your endeavors. Think you froze,
No,
but
I'm here.
oh, okay, yeah, I wish you you were super still. I thought you,
Like,
yeah, but again, I thank you again, man, and I appreciate you coming on again.
all right. Thank you. Good night, Mike.
Good night. There you have it, another awesome interview with another awesome guest. We had a little technical difficulty, but we made it through, and we are yet thriving. As I tell you guys all the time, if there's anything that God has given you a vision to do, a plan, a movie, a script, book, a song, a degree, a job, go for it. God is with you. Simple as that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yeah, have a great night.